We've talked about tone-deaf shows like Cribs that basically throw egregious wealth in our faces for our entertainment, as well as shows that are a direct result of 2008, which are pretty much any reality show in the early 2010s. But today we're going to take a look at a show that is actually both. Undercover Boss, where high-level corporate execs leave the comfort of their big homes and offices to go undercover at their own companies in a low-level position to get a feel for how things on the ground level really work, and what the employees really think of them. They often get a new perspective and respect for these workers that they arguably could have had without having to play dress-up, but we'll take it. Now, I mentioned this show being tone-deaf, but it's also a direct result of 2008, except this one not being because of the 2008 writer's strike, but because of the 2008 financial crisis. The tone-deaf part being the insane humanization of these high-level execs, CEOs, presidents, and so on. They really are made out to be the heroes here, whether it be the bare minimum changes they make in the end, or the sad piano music they play throughout the CEOs learning how hard life really is. Now, while all those 2010s reality shows popped up because there were no writers, this show popped up because there were no jobs. Restaurants and stores were hit hard, and this show mentions the economy every chance it can get.
The economy is going through tough times.
My cover story is that I've come from a family construction business, and construction's not doing well with the economy. We're in a terrible economy.
The CEOs are basically like, hey, we're losing a lot of money, and I have a McMansion payment. I gotta put on a disguise and get to the bottom of this. Now, I looked at all the mini episodes available in season 1, because that's the only season I can find streaming. And one episode, of course, stood out to me. The Hooters episode. So, of course, we're gonna dive right into that on Undercover Boss.
My name is Kobe Brooks, and I am president and CEO of Hooters of America, the best company in the world. I've obviously got the best CEO job in the world.
Alright, this dude's a fucking badass. He's got babes, he's got a hog, and he's got a motorcycle.
We have 460 some odd stores, and we are in 27 different countries, including the United States.
Having that many Hooters in that many countries around the world might as well make them the new U.S. Embassy.
6 individuals wanted a place that they could go and have beer and not get thrown out of. Then my father went into business with them, and he was the one instrumental in building the concept outside the state of Florida.
I don't like that if your concern is being kicked out of bars, you create Hooters. Of all places. That spells trouble.
My brother unfortunately died in one of our corporate plane crashes in 1993.
Holy shit, one of your corporate plane crashes? How many have you had? I really just hope he's wording that poorly and he meant to just say, like, one of their planes crashed. Because if not, maybe not a good track record for you to start your own airline. Because if you haven't heard of that, just imagine an airline, but Hooters. Actually, hell yeah, that sounds sick as fuck. Now, this is the part at the beginning of every episode where we get to see all of their wealth on display, and they do not shy away from showing us how proud of it they all are.
When I was 34, we went into the boardroom, and he came in, and he said, I just let the current president go. Kobe's your new president, CEO, he's going to take over.
I mean, he did work for it. His dad started the company, and he was given a job, but
There's a good possibility we have lost maybe some contact with the store level in the field.
Oh yeah, I bet the boardroom does have a lot of direct contact that spreads down to the store level. That sounds right to me.
Can we trade cars?
No.
Nah, yeah, I was just kidding. I've been taking the bus to work. I lost my license because of too many DUIs. Can you guys cut that, please?
The coworkers I'll be working with will be told that I will be followed by a documentary crew doing a documentary on entry-level positions.
Now, I want to address what he just said because I did a bit of thorough research, as I do, Reddit, and a lot of people think that this show is fake. And I don't shy away from fake or fake-ish shows on this channel. I don't really care. But a lot of people think that this show is fake because of the camera crew, which the show just says it's just for another documentary, not Undercover Boss. A show which at this point has not even been on air yet, so how would they even know it's a thing? The only thing I agree with is that the other workers may act a certain way being on camera, which, in this episode we will see, makes no difference to certain people. I think the biggest giveaway that this guy's the CEO is the fact that he looks like a retirement advisor at your community bank.
Good evening, sir.
And here's the key to the room.
All right, perfect. Thank you, sir.
That is some of the worst dubbing I've ever seen yet on a show. They totally recorded that later. He's like, yeah, here's the key to your room. It's like the old Superman cartoons when he would switch from Clark Kent to Superman.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Now, as far as the disguises go on this show, first of all, I'd be willing to bet most of their employees don't even know what he looks like in the first place. But second, they don't do much. I think later on in the show, they go more in depth. Not as bad as Gordon Ramsay when he looked like a fucking Mr. Meaty puppet, but they do more than just shave his goatee off later on.
Lack of a better term, man, you're cannon fodder.
Okay.
You're going to be absorbing the blast today.
All right.
We're going to get a huge amount of people coming in. You're going to be cleanup.
It's insane seeing how busy they were during the lunch rush back in 2010, and now it's probably like a quarter full. And then the rest of their business is the 3 ghost kitchens running out of the back. So Kobe gets to work in the back and bringing back memories to my first job working at a restaurant, and now I want to stop watching. But they really put him through the ringer, and he does not do well.
And then you break one. Good job on that. I knew you was going to break some mugs today.
That was me.
In fact, he does so poorly, the manager is like, hey man, don't come back ever. You did so poorly. You made everyone's life here a living hell just by you existing. You can keep the shirt and hat, though.
Keep the hat and the shirt kind of as a memory of why not to lose the current job you may have now.
Which was honestly pretty sick back in 2010. I think. If you're like me, you like to cook, but sometimes the whole process can get overwhelming. Between the trip to the store, chopping, portioning, organizing ingredients, and throwing it all together, it can get to be a lot. And that's not even accounting for you having to find recipes to cook throughout the week in the first place. But that's where HelloFresh comes in to make the whole process so much easier. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and not only sends everything you need right to your door, but all the ingredients are pre-portioned so there's no measuring and no waste, allowing you to follow along with their foolproof recipe cards for a stress-free cooking experience. And with HelloFresh, you don't have to worry about getting bored of recipes, with over 30 plus calorie and protein smart recipe options each week. And as the seasons change, so do the seasonal menus, so you can enjoy peak ingredients and flavors every season. And you know what they say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Who's they? Don't worry about it. With HelloFresh, you can get free breakfast for life, meaning you'll get a totally free breakfast item with every single box while your subscription is active. Wow. So if you want to get in on that and everything else I mentioned, head on over to HelloFresh using my link or QR code and use code ChrisJamesAUG10 and receive 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. That's 1 free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active if you're in the US. The link and code are valid in all countries and the respective local discount will apply. I want to thank HelloFresh once again for sponsoring, and now back to the video. But they definitely gave him the hardest job first. It only gets easier from here. But he comes back the next day after being asked not to and does not work in the restaurant, but goes on the streets with a couple of the Hooters girls to bring in some new customers.
I always break my seams in my shirts because I have big boobs.
I don't have that problem.
Oh, well.
I don't either.
Yeah, well, I don't have that problem. Yeah, shirt's kind of cupping at the sides.
Hey, I've got some boneless wing samples here from Hooters. Would you guys like to have them?
Something tells me these guys weren't originally going to cross the street and they just looked over like, hey, whoa, what's going on over there?
We're looking for a bar
Well, you should come to Hooters.
with beer, naked
Coldest
girls,
beer.
and TV.
We don't have
That
naked
order
girls.
recorded.
Now, you're going to start to see throughout the episode that Kobe is trying to give the company a new image. Like, hey, come on, we just want to be taken seriously as a bar with beer and TVs. Dude, alright, well, we have a B-dubs down the street, and just about every other bar and grill has filled that hole that does not exist in the bar industry. Hooters didn't discover TVs in a place. And he knows damn well if they stop doing what they're doing, it would not work out well for them. I feel like he's just trying to make it look like they're trying to make an effort here. And I'll be the first to admit, you guys know as a preteen, I was all in on the Hooters thing. Maybe I just did it because it made adults laugh, so I leaned into it. That's a lot of it, actually, because at the age of 12 even, I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about this. So yeah, 12 and 14-year-old Chris was a part of the patriarchy. All right, sue me. Please don't.
We work in the downtown Weston Hooters, and we're going around giving out free boneless wings as a promotion. Would y'all like some?
No.
No? Okay, thank you.
You know he felt his wife's hand grip extra hard for a second there. He was like, oh, well, no, we're fine. Get away from me, you lady of the night.
What do y'all think about Hooters?
I love Hooters.
Do you like to come to Hooters, too?
No, I have a different opinion than Vince does. You know, I just think it's degrading to women.
This is that music I was talking about showing up when Kobe's being told the shocking revelation that a lot of women don't like Hooters for a few reasons.
Would you make as much money at a different restaurant as you do at Hooters? Do y'all do it so that you can wait on tables or so that you can make really good money because you get really good tips on what you wear?
I especially love his dumbfounded reaction to hearing normal things like, yeah, I think it's obvious that if you guys weren't dressed this way, guys wouldn't come in.
Do you think that those comments would change your opinion about working at Hooters?
Not at all. At the end of the day, their husbands are still going to come in.
I guess she's saying it how it is. She she's not wrong. That guy looks like he's still gonna go in.
Well, I discovered a lot of things today. Yeah, there was one woman that said she would never, ever let her daughters, work at Hooters, but my 2 daughters, they say, hey, I want to work at Hooters, absolutely.
It's so funny in hindsight seeing him say that they want to shift away from it being all about half-naked girls to then just 10 years later when, I don't know if you remember this, but Hooters mandated new uniforms for the employees to wear, and they were like, hey, I don't want to wear that because it's, well, it's just underwear. It's just underwear. And then Hooters was like, fine, fuck, Jesus Christ, all right, we'll just run a Mr. Beast burger out the back then.
I've never seen it firsthand, with the public versus our Hooters girls one-on-one. I've never seen that before. That was a little bit eye-opening.
So now that their on-the-street interview gave Kobe a surprisingly eye-opening perspective, and he's been let go from the first restaurant, it's time for him to try again at another location in Arlington.
First thing we're gonna do is uniform lineup, all right? Bam. We're gonna line these girls up, and we're gonna have to inspect them, all right? Bam. Because we're not gonna put out an inferior product, and it all starts with the girls, with Hooters.
Okay.
There was so much to unpack there. Remember when I said that some people on the show may act differently when there's a camera around, but then there are some that don't? Well, this guy is the one that doesn't. This is Jimbo.
Jimbo!
He basically looked like he was plucked from central casting to play a Hooters manager, and he acts the part too. A little too well.
This is Scotty, okay? You can call him Scooter.
Yeah, Kobe unfortunately has the face that looks like he was called Scooter against his will as a child. So as I mentioned, Kobe's jobs get easier as the show goes on, and now he's basically just shadowing managers, so he hopefully won't break any glasses. Except he makes the dire mistake of being nice to a dad and his baby, because Jimbo does not like that at all.
Can't look at the babies, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's enough kissing on the babies.
I like babies, though.
Cool. Rookie. Maybe we'll do a bean eating contest, all right? Maybe we'll get all the girls, we'll shove their faces down in the beans and have them clean it up,
Right.
Suck her down, good times, all right?
Do they seem to like those kind of things?
Hey, no rules.
No rules.
Okay?
The fact that Jimbo is here standing with a man he just met this afternoon in front of a camera crew and is like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna say right now.
If you want to play some games, there's other games you can play.
There's plenty of different games you could play. I like Sudoku, Jenga, Candyland.
Kobe Brooks, president and CEO of Hooters, has found a manager who he thinks is way out of line. He continues his shift with Jimbo.
I still cannot believe it every time I hear that name out loud. I really hope that is his full legal first name. Like, he was birthed, and then someone at the hospital wrote on a birth certificate, Jimbo. Jimbison. I'm sorry, I really took off without landing on that one.
You want to leave early today? Cuts are going to be on games. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So what am I supposed to do about school if I have to leave?
You're going to play my reindeer games.
So then we just see the worst thing to ever happen in this restaurant right now. Are they open? Like, is there someone off to the side eating their lunch? Like,
oh, get some of that. Come on, girl.
What the fuck is
Who wants
going
to
on
go
over there?
home?
There's a reek of baked beans all of a sudden. This is absolutely bananas. I still cannot believe this is happening. And you know why I know this show cannot be that fake? Because you can't write this without someone else being like, no fucking way we're gonna write that. No one is gonna believe that that happened. What if in a shocking turn of events, at the end of this when Kobe does the CEO sit down, because that's what they do at the end of all these episodes, the CEO sits down with everyone he's interacted and he's like, hey, I'm actually the CEO, so you either did a bad job or a good job, here's a used car. But what if he's doing that with Jimbo and he's like, Jimbo, that thing you did back there with the baked beans, that was the hottest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. That, you know what, I'm gonna give you a full ride scholarship even though you're 43 years old. So now Kobe, rightfully appalled, makes a call to the franchise owner and he's like, man, he's got him eating beans. And you may not understand what that means at all, and I don't think I have enough time allotted in this voicemail to explain all of that, but you gotta put a stop to this. So now it's time for Kobe to move on to his next store in Fort Worth, where he's gonna be shadowing another manager.
Now I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, and I'm gonna be following the position of one of our female managers. The female manager has got to have some different obstacles than a male manager. I don't know what those are. We'll find out.
Hi, I'm Jimbo. Nice to meet you. Shit.
I'm Marcy. Are you Scott? Nice to meet you. Hey, you ready to get Hooterified?
I am.
We're just kind of going to go around and kind of scan the area and get pretty chaotic. I don't have a babysitter for tomorrow night.
Okay, you know what? Maybe some of these employees are starting to get a whiff of the undercover boss, because at that last restaurant, one of them was like, I have class tonight, and then now another one's like, I don't have a sitter tonight. So I think they're all fighting for that CEO sit down at the end of the episode where they get something. Now, as he shadows her, I'm wondering if he's training for like an assistant manager or something of the sorts, and if so, is that a real position she needs filled? And if so, does she need real help? Because I can imagine she'd be pissed after all of this to find out and like, wait, so I could have been training someone real for a position that I actually need, but instead I was helping Kobe play fucking pretend?
It's refreshing to see that Marcy seems to have a lot better relationship with her crew than Jimbo did. Marcy respects her girls, and the girls respect her.
Who could have predicted that?
I think Marcy's working real hard to make a better life for herself and for her children. That's got to be tough when there's not a lot of leniency and time for her, because a person will eventually burn out doing that.
Oh yeah, you know Marcy's getting that sit down at the end. She's getting a certified pre-owned car at least. So that was actually a pleasant visit, as far as Hooters undercover bar visits go. And now it's time for Kobe's last stop. Not at a restaurant, but at one of their food processing facilities.
There's one person I'm going to be informing, and that's Patty, and she's the one person that will be able to get me in and let me get my job done without being noticed.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Patty.
Hey Kobe, how's it going? Did we have to do this a half mile down the fucking road? Now the issue with this place is there are a few people that may recognize Kobe, so he's gonna get his own undercover boss escort to assist him in this operation.
It fills up on its own, so all you gotta do is make sure there's a bucket under there. Squeeze them both.
Takes 2 hands.
2 hands, yeah.
I would do anything for that machine to crush my back just one time.
The owner, you were here before he died, or you were here after?
When I first started, I think he had just recently passed away. Everybody here, they really miss him. They said when he was still the owner of this company, everything was good. Everybody said it was a real pleasure to work here. Since Mr. Brooks passed away, they said the bonuses went down and all that, so I don't think a lot of people want to be here.
Now, I think he's kind of giving himself away a little more as the episode goes on, because he's giving a lot more CEO energy, especially with the questions he's asking.
And his son owns it now?
Yeah, I think his sons took over the company.
What's the word on him?
They probably hating the guy right now, but
no one here talks about the son too much?
Nobody really. I don't know if they know him.
It's sort of like in mystery diners when they plant a worker that gets right to the point, asking very oddly specific questions to other employees about whatever issues are at hand. So what do you think about the previous owner's son, the new owner? Seems pretty cool. Not someone you'd call Scooter at all. Yeah, I guess he's cool. I don't know. I just really want to eat my sandwich, man. I only got 15 minutes. Well, you know, people talk, people say things. I think they're unwarranted. You know, I think there's more than meets the eye to Kobe Brooks. Dude, I really don't know shit about him, and I think it's really weird that you know his full name already. I just want to eat my lunch in peace, please.
I think me coming back in and being seen a little bit more, even just to say hi and walk the floor, I think it'll go a long way to reassure them that, you know, they're still in good hands and they're still in the Brooks hands.
Yeah, you know, he also mentioned bonuses going down since you started, so maybe let's start there instead. Because when I worked in any retail place, you know what did make me think, oh boy, what a job I have? It was when we'd get a visit from 3 guys with dress shirts and vests, with our store's name tag, walking around, looking at everyone, putting us all on edge for a day.
All I want to do is I want to make him proud.
It's just, I just really miss my goatee. So now that Kobe's had the opportunity to meet with and visit a number of employees under the Hooters umbrella, it's time for him to meet with the other execs and tell them what he learned. Hopefully a lot of that conversation is about Jimbo. He needs to be priority number 1.
We have some management that he wasn't respectful to the girls.
Do you think his career can be salvaged?
Do you think his career can be salvaged? You know, let's put a pin in that one. I'm leaning towards no, though.
I feel a little bit excited. I could always use a little bit of adventure.
That is exactly the shirt I would expect Jimbo to wear off the clock. He nailed it.
Hey, you.
Not to be too hard on Kobe, but he kind of has the face that I wouldn't be surprised if any of these people just didn't remember him.
Listening to the things that you heard from the public, a lot of them were good, some of them not so good.
I think it exploits women.
Really? So what I want you two to do is I want you to help me with my marketing department to help me come up with a program and a campaign to educate the public on what Hooters does each and every year.
And it's going to be unpaid. You will be paid in experience, though. Also, we will not be compensating for gas and meals.
Just so people can really understand that we're not just Hooter girls.
You know, I commented on Jimbo's shirt, but seeing the back of Kobe's shirt now, it's pretty pimp too.
Dave, your demeanor and the way you manage that store, it was good to see because it's exactly what it needed.
And because of your strong work ethic and leadership, we're going to allow you to execute Jimbo on the company's behalf.
I'd like to make a $50,000 donation to the Operation Homefront in your name. It's a great military charity that you're probably familiar with.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Dave.
No problem, sir. Thank you.
Wow, that's incredible. A raise would have been really nice too, though, but I'm still happy. Okay, get out before we call security.
Marcy, what I got out of our time together is we need to come up with some way to lessen the burden of stress. I want to send you and your family on a long vacation. Could be anywhere in the world.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you so much. But, I mean, if I'm being honest, what would actually help my workload is if you actually put out a job listing for the job that you pretend train for. That would really make my days so much easier. I made a joke about a few of them getting used cars. No one got anything to that extent. Not even Marcy. She got a vacation, which it's better than no vacation. It's better than nothing at all. But come on. Like, yeah, we made your life easier for 2 weeks, but then after that it's going to go back to not being easy at all.
What's going on, buddy?
Jimbo. I am not Scotty.
Okay.
I'm Kobe Brooks, the president and CEO of Hooters of America.
Ah.
I am a proud father of 3 children, 2 of which are girls. I have always said that I have no problem with my girls working in Hooters.
Right.
But to be honest with you, I would have a tough time letting my girls work under your management.
I get what he says, and yeah, I'll make it happen.
Look, I get they wanted to go the feel-good route here and all, but man, I really don't think you can come back from the beans thing. I know I keep going back to it, but it's worth drilling into. That's such a weird fucking thing to do. Now, after all of the sit-downs, it's time for Kobe to reveal his big secret to the rest of the company, who are all probably like, okay, cool, you shaved for a week?
Get some muscles. Let me grab one of the girls, give them to help you out.
Okay, whose abomination is parked next to the stage? I thought that was maybe something he was gonna give to some unfortunate soul, but I think it's just there to look bitchin'. So now that we got all of that heartwarming stuff out of the way, it's time to follow up and see what changes have been made since. I guess Marcy just got a demotion. They say it in a very pleasant way, and it sounds like it was her decision, but that's pretty much what happened. Oh no, Jimbo, we just needed a heartwarming moment for the show. You are so fucking fired. You are an unbelievable risk, legally, keeping employed at this company. Well, sort of happy ending for everyone. Especially a happy ending for Kobe, because he is still rich, except now he looks like a hero to American television audiences, and got to play dress-up for a week. Cool. Side rant, I got so fucking hungry for wings watching this episode, and I ordered wings, and you know what? They forgot my dipping sauce, which I don't know if you know this, it's half of the wing eating experience. It'd be like ordering Five Guys and then being like, ah, shit, we forgot the buns. Sorry, rant over, it's just, that really threw me off for the night. Anyways, as always, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like down below, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Check out my sick merch in the store tab or at chrisjames.shop. Don't forget to check out HelloFresh with my link and code below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.